Link's Awakening is a really pleasant game, like in general, so for this video I thought we would take a short but chill sightseeing tour through Koholint Island as we look at just about every reference and Easter egg in Link's Awakening. If you're familiar with this game, it's quite likely you're already aware of all this, but maybe you'll learn something new along the way. Like, for example, if you smack a cuckoo a bunch, it'll summon a cuckoo swarm. I'm just kidding, that's nothing new. It's actually a really long-running trope that cuckoos will swarm Link in Zelda games when attacked, but this time around it's a bit odd. You see, due to the odd blend of top-down with the 3D world, the cuckoos will just go flying straight up and get stuck on seemingly nothing. It's pretty weird. Now, maybe actually something you don't know, because the game doesn't do a really good job of telling you, but you could actually fire bomb arrows by pressing the buttons for both the bomb and the arrows at the same time. Neat. And also, magic powder is a thing. Normally, it's used to clear away grass and kill off certain enemies in a single go, but it also has some very niche uses. One of those includes the blobby green boys called Buzz Blobs. When doused in our magical pocket sand, they turn into bug-eyed Cukemen. In the original version of Link's Awakening, they reference the N64, talking about how it can display millions of polygons. This time around, the Cukemen instead references the 3 magical songs that you can learn across Koholint Island, referring to the Ocarina songs. The powder can also be used on this skeleton in Yarna Desert. He'll bask in the refreshing dust before giving Link a hint on where to bomb for his secret treasure. Unfortunately, bombing him gives us nothing but disappointment. And the last weird use of the magic powder involves this grave. Toss on some powder and you'll hear,
"Don't sprinkle that on me, I'll have to curse you."
That said, I'd like to change gears a bit. Now, if you've ever played this game for any length of time, you've probably noticed that a large amount of creatures and characters are actually from Mario games, like, a lot of them. It seems to add to the dreamlike nature of this game, they added a bunch of stuff from other Nintendo games, and also phones. I think all these references are pretty neat, so I'm going to list them off in no particular order, starting with Tarin, father to Marin, and lover of red spotted mushrooms. There's also the Cuckoo Keeper. The two of these are quite reminiscent of Mario and Luigi respectively. Also, during the trading sequence, the letter you deliver to Mr. Right contains a picture of Princess Peach herself. And while we're at it, Mr. Right is based on Dr. Right, an advisor in SimCity on the NES. Dr. Right is another character that has multiple guest appearances throughout various Zelda games. There's also Bow Wow, Chow Chow, and Chow Chow, 3 chain chomps from the Mario series that everyone here just treats like normal dogs. Also, the item won from the Trendy Crane game, which starts the game's trading sequence, is none other than a Yoshi doll. Its description even mentions how many games it's been in. Then there's a bunch of Mario enemies, like Goombas. These can be squished just like their Mushroom Kingdom brethren, and will always give a heart as a reward. And in just a single room in the Bottle Grotto are a couple of Boo, the famous ghosties. However, unlike their Mushroom Kingdom counterparts, these are very confident, and will actually attack Link even when being looked at. They also can sort of teleport when struck, and attack through a shield. Those are pretty strong. There's also Mask Mimics, which are also found in the Bottle Grotto, and they're literally just Shy Guys. And then the cactus-looking cacti over in Yarna Desert are Pokies. There's Bombites, which are roughly based on Bomb-Ombs, but are way more bouncy than Bomb-Ombs. There's the spiked and hard hat beetles, which bear a striking resemblance to Mario's Buzzy Beetles. And then a bunch of enemies that you really only see during 2D sections, like piranha plants, thwimps and thwomps, I probably mixed those up, and also the innocent-looking squiddy bloopers and Cheep Cheeps. All that said, there's also the Anti-Kirby, which of course is a reference to Kirby, as well as those sea urchins down by the beach, which closely resemble spiky Gordos. And then there's the frog you learn the Resurrection song from, Mamu, but he's actually based on the villainous frog of the same name from Doki Doki Panic, which during its localization outside of Japan, as Super Mario Bros. 2, was renamed to Wart. Hopefully I didn't botch any of that information. I probably did. If I did, let me know. Now over in Richard's villa, there's a few things worth noting. Firstly, Richard is actually a reference to Prince Richard of Custard Kingdom from the Game Boy game The Frog for Whom the Bell Tolls. That sort of explains all the frogs. If you've never heard of it, it's because that game was only ever released in Japan, and also the theme that plays inside of his house is the same tune as that game's overworld theme. Speaking of, if you let that music play for about 2.5 minutes, you're rewarded with this. Those 19 notes are video game composer Kazumi Totaka's signature theme, which he's snuck into numerous games that he's worked on over the years. However, that's not the only place that you could hear his theme. When starting a new game, you can name Link whatever you want. This time around, there are 3 names that can give you some special music. First, Totakeke gives you Totaka's theme once more. A bit longer, the name Marin gives you this rendition of the Ballad of the Windfish. And finally, to finish off this quick little video, the name Zelda gives you this funky rendition of the classic Zelda theme. Thank you very much for watching. I know this was a very short video, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. If you want more of Koholint Island, why not check out my video on glitches in Link's Awakening? And before I sign off, I want to give big thanks to my channel members, with special thanks to Christy Cuntris for being a superfan. That's about it for this one. I'll see you in the next video.